Yeah.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
Switch.
The question we always want to know is, how dumb are Americans?
You know, it's funny. I feel like there's no gray area anymore. People are either like super smart or really stupid. There's no one in between anymore.
Well, now there was a case where people were going to jury duty, and they said, have you had a shot, a COVID shot? And they say no, and they go, have a nice day. We don't want these people. So, you know, we reported in 2017 that 7% of Americans thought chocolate milk came from brown cows.
Right. We did report that. That was an actual study that was done, and people did think that. Yeah. Mhm.
Right. And you say, well, 7%, that's like 4 people. But it's 16 million people thought chocolate milk came from brown cows.
Wow. I mean, I could see if you ask like a 5-year-old that sounds like a cute little thing a 5-year-old would say. But I think this particular study, they were talking to actual adults, people over 25 years old, who actually thought that chocolate milk came from brown cows. Yes.
Yeah. So they're walking through the mall with a clipboard. Excuse me, sir. Come here. Chocolate milk. Where does it come from? Brown. Okay. Check. So they asked some other questions to Americans just to see where we are as if we're smart.
Right. No, they're really looking to see how stupid we are. But go ahead. What are the questions?
How many people thought vaccines are not safe? 45% of adults said vaccines are not safe.
That's scary. That's a scary high number.
Well, that almost follows exactly the people that aren't vaccinated.
Yeah.
You know, like 45%.
Right.
What percentage of people thought climate change is not real? 20%.
Oh, that's a lot lower than I was expecting. I was expecting you to say a much higher number than that. Okay, a 20% is still a lot, but it's not as high as I was. I love that 45% of people think vaccines aren't safe, but like 20% of those are like, oh, climate change, I'm totally on board.
Yeah, I don't think at this point you can say it's not real.
Right.
I mean, you have to at some point go, something's happening. I don't know what, but maybe we should listen to a scientist. I don't know. So, did dinosaurs and people live at the same time?
That was one of the questions that they asked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did dinosaurs and people live at the same time?
Okay.
14% of people said yes.
Again, that's a lot lower than I was expecting because people grew up, people who know nothing about science whatsoever, who've never been to a museum. You know, you've seen all the cartoons and TV shows growing up. Well, there's dinosaurs running around and there's people like the Flintstones or, remember they had a dinosaur. So you would think those 14% got their information from cartoons.
That's still 32 million people.
That's crazy.
32 million people said no. The Flintstones had Dino. It was a dinosaur. Cavemen lived the same time as T-Rex.
Wow. There's so many reasons why that doesn't make any sense, but I'm not going to go into it. Okay. Mm-hmm.
The moon landing was faked.
Well, a lot of people think that. I mean, you think that.
Yeah, 7%. Same amount of people that think chocolate milk comes from chocolate cows believe the moon landing was faked. I'm one of the 16 million that say, yeah.
Well, so which one do you also believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows?
No, I know that because...
Oh, okay. Look, I'm not sure with you.
Because sometimes I have to make my own chocolate milk, so I know it starts out from the white cows, and then you put the chocolate in the milk.
Yeah, it's all cows. It's not just white cows, by the way.
Yeah, I get confused because it wasn't until like I was, this year's old when I found out that only certain cows you can kill for meat.
Right. Yeah. There's certain cows that are not edible.
And then there's it's not the same cows you get the milk from. So the milk cows you can't kill and eat the steak from. You got to eat it from the other cows, which I had no idea until
recently. It's very confusing. I understand.
I just figured you'd eat all cows. But it's like the black cows, you can eat them, but the white cows, you can't.
Yeah, that's where we get Angus. That's where Angus comes from.
No, that's where all meat comes from.
No. But there's specific types of cows.
Right. I had no clue. So when I was making a logo for a meat place, I put a white and black cow on it as a logo. And they went, no, that's not the cow you get the meat from. I'm like,
right.
That doesn't make any sense. I thought a cow meat was cow meat. Anyway, what percentage of people think crystals have healing powers?
Oh, God. I mean, literally everybody in the West Village.
That's 6% of people. So that's still like 15 million.
I'm glad that it's such a small number. You know, it's funny because I have a necklace that has a crystal on it just because it's just a pretty necklace. And I was walking down the street and some woman was like, oh my God, that crystal, you must have such great health and healing. I was like, what? I thought she was totally bullshitting me, but she was one of these like, oh my God, that crystal, where did you get it? And they say crystals find you. I'm like, well, then this crystal didn't find me because I bought this one at Bloomingdale's.
I found it and I paid for it. And it wasn't
I found
cheap.
it and I bought it.
Crystals find you. Okay. And 2% of people believe.
I was like, no, I think that's cats.
And 2% of the population believe the earth is flat.
Again, I'm surprised that's such a small number because I feel like there's a lot of. I keep hearing conversation about that's a loud 2% because people make fun of flat earthers a lot, you know, and I hear a lot of stuff about flat earth stuff. Like there's that whole documentary on it. So it seems like it's more than 2%. So
I saw something online on Facebook the other day about flat earth, and I went, I can almost understand that. I can agree with that.
Oh, yeah, because Facebook is a great source for medical and scientific information.
They had a model of what flat earth would look like, and there's a dome, but it's flat. And when you sail to the end of the earth, it's ice everywhere. And the Navy blocks that. So you can't go past to go to the ice because that's the end of the world and you would fall off.
Yeah, you should definitely keep getting your science from Facebook. That sounds like a great source of information for you.
I figure people get their doctorates. My sister gets a doctorate from Facebook. Why can't I learn about the earth from Facebook? I mean, it just makes sense. 26% of Americans could not name all three branches of the federal government.
You can't.
I have no idea.
I'll start you off. I'll give you the first one. Executive.
Judicial.
Good.
Democrats.
No.
Liberal.
No.
Republican. I think you're wrong with the...
I gave you executive. You said judicial.
Right.
So what's missing?
Executive.
Legislative.
It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, but that is the third branch.
33% could not think of one. So hello. 37% could not name a single right protected by the Bill of Rights.
What? That's shocking because people are always talking about free speech and right to bear arms. I mean, those are two things that are in regular conversation. So if you don't know any of the others, at least give me those two.
Is the right to vote in there?
Yes.
Okay. See, I know one. And today, 1/3 of Americans, 2/3 of Republicans, by the way, believe that Joe Biden actually won the election.
Okay.
1/3 of Americans said, yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right. Fine. and there was that percentage that thought that somehow remember that Trump was going to suddenly just be back in office.
Yeah, waiting on that.
August. No, we already passed it.
Oh, we're past it? Well, it's coming again. It's like the end of the world. You know, the 2012, where if it doesn't happen, we just push it forward another 3 or 4 years.
This falls into your theory that 2012, the world did end. And here we are living a parallel universe with people that are dumber than dirt.
That think chocolate milk comes from chocolate cows.
Right.
16 million people. That means you're talking to somebody in Times Square with a clipboard and they say, yeah, chocolate cows.
Yeah, I've seen so many of those late night shows like Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon. They all do all the Jimmys.
Yeah,
They
the
do this thing where they always,
jaywalking.
with the jaywalking, and they always send people into the streets
Mhm.
to ask questions. But you know that they only get the dumb answers. So if they ask 20 people and 19 of them know the answer, we only get to see the one person that's like, I don't know, chocolate milk must come from brown cows, I guess.
They cut that in, and that's part of the 20 people they fund that are
Exactly.
stupid. But that you can find one
Right.
should make that segment.
True.
You should
should
have
find
that
zero.
segment from that one person.
There should be nobody answering that question that way.
Flat Earth, and they go, yeah, I've seen things. I understand. I understand the moon landing. That didn't happen. I get that. But flat Earth, I don't know. I believe the moon thing.
I know you love to pretend like you don't think we landed on the moon, but all right. But see, that doesn't have any consequences. That's the difference. Whether you believe the earth is round or flat has no consequences.
Mhm.
Some of the other things you mentioned do have consequences. So
Chocolate
that's kind
milk,
of scary.
chocolate cows really don't. And knowing the Bill of Rights, not really.
Well, I'd like to see some of those people walk by a brown cow and go try and milk it. I want to see that happen.
It's white. It's white milk. I don't understand.
This cow is broken.
Give me another one. I don't think cows let you just walk up to them and start squeezing their nipples.
Oh, you can't? Okay,
No. I think you have to. You have to whine them.
You got to be friends with them. You got to take them out first.
Yeah.
I don't know much about cows.
They have to see a movie. You just can't touch them.